Welcome back. It's me, the Uncommon Professor, and the Uncommon Professor podcast. I'm going to talk about something really serious today, something you might not have ever heard of. It's called anxiety cost. And it's something that can derail you, and I mean right away, really, really quickly. Before I start, I always do this. Anyone that's been to this podcast knows this. This podcast is brought to you by my book. Maybe you've seen this book. It's available on Amazon. There's a link in the description. Go check it out. It's very inexpensive. It is a bestseller on Amazon. I'm very, very proud of that. Let me show you something else that you might not know that I wrote. I also wrote this book. I am very, very serious about school safety. I've worked with the dean of our school, and he has been incredibly helpful to move a lot of the things forward that I would like to do. So that's a very tough book to read. I think it's $10, and I'm very proud of that book too. I hope it spreads as well as my first book did. So let me get right to it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about anxiety. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm not a healthcare professional, but what I am is a person that's seen 21 years of students. I teach the largest class at the largest university in the country. Last semester, I had 4,010 students in my classes. So, yeah, all day long, that's what I do. So, I see anything and everything. I will admit, though, every time I think I've seen something new, I'm wrong. I see something newer. But I do know about anxiety cost. It's something that you can see. So, let me kind of describe it the best way I can. It happens basically when you procrastinate, and you can in college. There's no one around, your mom and dad aren't around, you're away from home maybe. It's so easy to procrastinate. There's no one there to wag their finger at you. However, everybody, when they procrastinate, gets that feeling of anxiety. So think of anxiety cost of almost like in dollars and cents, something that's building up more and more and more. You can feel it. So you're playing Xbox and it's fun. You're making new friends. Good for you, but you can feel it. And you have an assignment coming up. You're supposed to study for your midterm, something like that. And you can feel it more and more and more. Let's say it's due on Friday night or whatever. And you keep going all week long and you're putting it off and you're putting it off, but you're having a good time. College is going pretty well for you. Tuesday, Thursday, then you get to Friday. And let's say I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt. The benefit of the doubt. That's good diction on my part. You might not think I speak for a living, but let's say you get it done. I'll even give you that you got it done well and it's done. Good for you. However, that 5 days of procrastination, of putting it off, that anxiety cost, that's what that is. That's stress. And stress is so bad for you in college. So the idea is this: it was a much better idea to get it done, to do time management. I get it. Everyone and their dog is going to tell you on the way to college, hey, don't forget time management. Yeah, whatever, time management. It's so frustrating when you tell somebody that. And like, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that from a million people. Are you doing it? How come you're not doing it? It is so important. Time management is important to avoid anxiety cost. Anxiety cost is like it's like getting the flu. It's worse and worse and worse. And speaking of that, I see that all the time. You see kids that fall behind, you see kids that have such anxiety costs, they do get sick in college. And it just starts building up week after week after week. And unfortunately, I've seen it where it's literally debilitating. It's not like you're not smart. Let me tell you something about college. I already know you're smart. They wouldn't have let you in otherwise. What do you think the SAT and ACT were about? We were just vetting you. Are you going to do well in college? Oh, good for you. You got whatever on the SAT? Yay. Happy, happy, happy. But it is your habits. It is your time management. I can't stress to you enough how important time management is in college so you avoid the anxiety cost. And it's a cost that builds and builds and builds throughout the semester. And it debilitates you in so many ways. So let me give you a couple of ways that you can avoid that. Starting with time management. I just told you all about that. But let me start here. Get into a routine. Like for instance, go to the gym. Go to the gym at 5 p.m. every day. Eat at the same time every day. Get a balanced routine so your days are one after the other, and you're going to be able to go, okay, part of my routine is when I'm going to study, when I'm going to get stuff done, when I'm going to collaborate with other students. So here's another one. I know this seems self evident. I get it. Stay organized. That's part of your time management. Stay organized. Don't be messy in your head. Don't be messy in your dorm room. Don't do it. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. Eat good stuff. There's a lot of shit that you can eat at college. There's no one watching you once again. But I've said this a million times. Ask anyone that's ever taken a class from me. I say this before exams. I always say, I'm not your mom. I'm not. But let me tell you, let me give you a little advice for a good exam. And I know this is hard to do in college. Sleep. Get 8 hours of sleep before a major exam or assignment like that. And I understand it. I do remember from college when I went way back in the Cretaceous period. I do. Sleep is at a premium in college. But before you take an exam, to avoid anxiety, to avoid the anxiety cost, get yourself some real life sleep. And if your roommate's being a butthole, then do something about it. The other part is before you take an exam, eat well. Seriously, it makes a gigantic difference. Let's say you do get anxiety. And once again, I'm not a mental health professional, but I can tell you this. There's nothing wrong with asking for help, seeking support from your friends, your family, your professors. I can take a lot of pressure off of you. Look, if you're just going through a bad patch, come and find me. I'm not a monster. Here's another thing. Relax. Seriously, relax. When I first started as a professor 21 years ago, I was in my office one time at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I was trying to get something done. I felt like it had to be done by the next day. I remember that. And my boss, God bless him, great guy, for some reason, he came by to pick something up because he was at a university function or something like that. And he sees me in my office. He's like, "What are you doing here?" Hey, man, I got to get this done, blah, blah, blah. He goes, "Go home." And so I'm trying to explain to him, like, hey, seriously, this is go home. And then he sits me down the next day and goes, "Look, dude, you need to get away from this place. You can't keep going like you're going. I don't know what you're doing here. Are you trying to impress? You're trying to learn a whole bunch of stuff, but this place is going to eat you up. Same way a student can do it. So a student needs to do the same thing. I was happy someone told me, get away. And he was like, even if it's for 2 hours, don't think about this place, forget about this place, go for a hike, go do something, go play basketball, join the badminton squad, do anything else but think about this place. Do that to avoid anxiety cost. Here's another one. How about setting some realistic goals? So let's say you have a huge project due and it seems overwhelming. Ugh, it seems overwhelming. My addiction's getting even better. Look, break it down into smaller goals, realistic goals. Do that. And all of a sudden it'll be done. And as you go along and you hit these little goals, that's going to be a really big deal for you. Let's say you hit like, I don't know, you're 25% in, you hit a goal. You won't have anxiety cost. You won't have anxiety. Here's another one. Sounds weird. Try to limit your caffeine. Try to do that. Excessive caffeine it can exacerbate anxiety systems for real. It's a real big thing. I dig caffeine. I used to be a diet Cokeaholic, and I'm fortunate not to do that anymore. The other thing to try to really do, look, I'm grown up. Try not, just listen. If you're gonna drink, at least limit it. You know, or I think the best thing to do is not drink at all. But I'm not a Pollyanna. You're gonna drink. I understand that. Be nice to yourself too. Practice self compassion. Don't be calling yourself an asshole. God dang it, I did this, blah, blah. That's not helping. And a matter of fact, it's hurting. As a matter of fact, it's building your anxiety cost. It's going to build and build and build. And listen, this is the last one, probably the most important. I probably, honestly, I should have let off with this. Know when to seek professional help. That's one of the coolest things at our university. This is free. A professional mental health professional, they're always around and they're always, always willing to help. Even if you think, well, I haven't gotten there yet. I do have anxiety, but I don't need professional help. I don't care. Go visit them. Let them make that determination. They'll help you in a huge way because what's going to happen is that anxiety is going to significantly interfere with your daily functioning, the stuff that you have to get done. Shit, listen to it this way. You're not going to have any fun in college if your bank account of anxiety costs builds so big. So consider seeking help from a real live mental health professional, and they can provide real live support, therapy, maybe medication. So honestly, that's pretty much what I have for today. This, like I say, this might be the most important podcast that I've done for helping a student. Other than that, I've been appreciating. This is a very fast growing channel. It's interesting. I didn't expect this so quickly, and I'm very appreciative of those that have subscribed. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and subscribe. The other thing that's way more important to me is comments. I want to get your comments, whether you agree, disagree, or questions. And no, I have no idea whether I can answer those either way. But thanks for coming by. Peace.